You would not believe the number of mistakes in K-pop Demon Hunters. There are a good number of silly little things that you wouldn't believe would make the final cut for such a huge movie. From downright poor animation to things that should definitely not be in certain scenes, down to a lack of consistency in the continuity of scenes that a lot of people didn't notice. This is going to be interesting to talk about. Like and subscribe because I'm about to let you in on these tiny mistakes that feel so big when you notice them. So the first mistake I'm going to be talking about happened during the fan signing. It was when Bobby brought his phone over to Mira and Zoe to show them how much the fans loved the joint signing between Huntrix and Saja boys. Mira snatched his phone and began flipping through fan edits of each of the girls with the Saja boy that fans were shipping them with. It was Rumi and Jinu, and they were tagged Ru Jinu. Zoe and Mystery were tagged Zoestery. Mira, Romance, and Abby were tagged Miro Mabby. And it was on that particular post that the mistake happened. The outfit Mira was wearing in that fan edit was the exact one she wore when she and the girls went to meet Healer Han. You remember that the meeting with Healer Han was supposed to be a secret. So where did fans get a photo of Mira to put into that edit? And it wasn't just any photo, it was like a passport, so a really close-up shot. I'm guessing that's something the filmmakers didn't think about. Anyways, moving on. The second scene that you would only notice if you pause the movie is Bobby's call on the airplane scene. At the beginning of the movie, the girls were on an airplane going for their show, and Bobby called to ask them why they hadn't arrived at the show yet. But before Rumi answered the call, we saw something unique and really funny. The call was already counting before she even picked up. It made me laugh because how the heck does that even happen? It counted to 3 seconds before Rumi picked up the call. A very silly mistake if you ask me. At number 3, we have a continuity issue. So the first time Rumi saw Jinu, we were all too busy swooning over their passionate meeting that soon turned sour. But what we didn't notice was that there was no jewelry on Jinu's neck. And I know you're wondering why that is such a big deal. After all, jewelry isn't a necessity for K-pop stars to wear. That's not the point. What makes this scene important is the scene that follows it. The next scene is the Saja boys' performance of Soda Pop. And what happened was that we suddenly see a necklace on Jinu's neck. I mean, this isn't some modest, slim necklace that isn't really noticeable. Oh no, this boy was wearing full-on ice on his neck, shiny and very noticeable. So the question is, where the heck did that come from? While we're on the topic of jewelry, I don't think we can ignore the queen of teleporting jewelry, and that is none other than Rumi herself. You don't believe me? Well, check the final fight against Guima. Well, not the fight itself, more like from the moment Rumi walked into the arena. Pay close attention to her ears. At first, you'll see that she has about 3 earrings on one ear. But before you can even blink, it's as though 2 of the earrings disappear and she's left with just 1 earring on each ear. But don't panic because the earring comes back soon enough. And that's not even the most of it. Something similar had happened before, during the fan signing. When the Saja boys were about to leave, Rumi was standing aside. And if you look closely, you'll see that she had only 1 earring. Like just 1 earring, leaving the other ear bare. But as she turned her face, the earring jumped from 1 ear to another. It's as though her jewelry are supernatural objects that are trying so hard to steal the spotlight. It's hilarious. Now, at number 5, we have a very tiny continuity issue that barely anyone noticed. So while Huntrix was waiting backstage during the Idol Awards, Mira was building up momentum by hitting a punching bag. Now, there was a picture of Abby's abs on the punching bag, and the picture was huge. The picture basically covered the entire punching bag. But when Bobby walked in, all of a sudden, the picture shrank as though it was shy of Bobby. For the next mistake, we're going to have to go back to the airplane scene at the beginning of the movie. So while the battle against the demons raged, those petty little suckers did something that was just going too far. They destroyed the plane and ripped off the wings. But here's the mistake. After Huntrix saw that they had to abandon the plan, we saw the wings of the plane still completely attached. I mean, it wasn't like the demons ripping off the wing was something that happened in the background of the movie. We literally saw it up close, but somehow the wings were back on like they never left. Anyways, we're moving on to number 7, which is an animation error. So, during the performance of Soda Pop by the Saja boys, something interesting happened. Just as the performance was coming to an end, the dance steps went from cool to just sloppy. And I'm not being a hater or anything. Just rewatch that performance, slow it down, or even pause, and you'd see how their legs were wiggly, like they were dancing with the wind. It was hilarious. Like, so hilarious, I almost choked on my popcorn like Rumi chokes on that verse in Golden. Was that too much? Okay, moving on. We have another continuity issue on our hands. So, you remember that bathhouse scene where Rumi was chasing Jinu like a dog in heat? Jinu clearly didn't want to fight, so he kept running. But when someone keeps gunning for you, you just have to respond, which is exactly what Jinu did. He used his claws to rip off the sleeve of Rumi's shirt, but she soon kicked him down and pressed him against the wall. And for a second, it was like her shirt repaired itself because the tear had suddenly vanished and her outfit looked good as new. But then the tear suddenly came back as well. Can somebody tell me how that happened? And don't even get me started on the fact that Jinu tore her sleeve with his claws, and yet it didn't injure her skin. I mean, the sleeve was literally a skin-tight one. So someone please explain that to me? We're now at number 9, and it is an animation issue. So in this mistake, we literally saw Mira phase through a couch like she is a speedster or something, like the Flash from DC Comics. It was in that scene where they all decided that they were going to come up with the greatest diss track ever to oppose the Saja boys. And as they were all running in excitement, Mira's seconds moved through the couch. You might have to pause this one to see it properly because it can escape the eyes unless you have the ability to slow time down. And finally, we have a mistake that I honestly don't know what to call. I don't know if it's a continuity issue or an animation issue or both. Anyways, so this scene happens during Huntrix's rehearsal for their show, but Rumi's voice choked and she ran to the bathroom. When she looked in the mirror, her shirt's zip had a pendant which she pulled on to unzip the shirt, but after she unzipped it, the pendant disappeared. I'm not even joking. It just wasn't there anymore. Don't ask me how because I have no freaking clue. Although it later comes back again when she steps out of the restroom. Anyways, that's all the mistakes you're going to get in this video. Leave your thoughts in the comments and I will, as always, see you in the next video. Bye.